If you use a checking account connected to the U.S. banking system, you could soon be at risk for surveillance of all your transactions. Or worse, direct control of your money by unelected officials in the U.S. government. An economic forecaster and banking expert who has been accurately predicting market disasters for more than 4 decades is about to expose these disturbing details. He correctly predicted the bank failures of the 1980s, the dot-com bust of the early 2000s, and the great financial crisis of 2008. In fact, his firm predicted bank failures months before the 2008 meltdown with a stunning 99.8% accuracy. Those who listened to his warnings could have kept their money safe and even made substantial profits during each crisis, while nearly all those who didn't listen to him and failed to get out in time suffered stomach-wrenching losses. The Wall Street Journal reported that investors who followed his independent stock ratings could have made more money than if they had followed the ratings issued by Deutsche Bank, Merrill Lynch, J.P. Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs, Standard & Poor's, and every single other firm reviewed in the Wall Street Journal. In 41 seconds, he's coming forward with a new warning. But it isn't about the stock market. It's about your checking account and how your financial transactions are going to be recorded and possibly even controlled by a small group of insiders in the U.S. government, starting as soon as May 2023. The facts you're about to hear could upset you. We urge you not to panic because according to this legendary economic forecaster, there are 4 actions you could take to preserve and even grow your wealth. You will hear about them in this presentation. This man's name is Dr. Martin Weiss. After avoiding the spotlight for several years, he's going public to reveal this new financial threat. He will show you the actual document produced by the government detailing their plan. He will even reveal a top-secret presentation that the government used to train their agents to spy on us. And he will show you how to protect yourself. Now, here's Dr. Martin Weiss.
Imagine a government agent gets assigned to snoop through your bank account to see if your transactions are considered a threat to the government's agenda. If that idea sickens you, and if you think it won't be a real possibility starting just a few months from today, then pay attention to what I reveal now. Because according to this official document I'm holding in my hand, starting as soon as May 2023, you could wake up one morning, log into your bank account, and stare at a red flashing alert that your account's transactions have been frozen. Your ability to send money and receive money, frozen. Your crime? You didn't commit one. It's all because of the U.S. government's horrifying new program that gives unelected officials the power to closely monitor or even freeze your account based on your behavior and potentially even based on your political views. It starts with this 93-page government document. Its name, Docket Number OP-1670. This innocent-sounding document, which was never meant for the general public, exposes how the government could gain the power to strangle your investment savings, to suspend your ability to pay others or get paid, even to punish you with fees and fines, and ultimately seize control over your money. Some of the largest U.S. banks are already joining our central bank, the Federal Reserve, to roll this out as rapidly as possible. There's a good chance your bank is already participating. I'll give you their names in just a moment because there's no stopping this from happening. You don't get a vote, you don't get to opt out, and your money is in danger unless you take 4 simple steps to protect your savings. The catch is you don't have much time left. We're very close to the day when the government will roll out this new system. They've already been caught red-handed snooping in the private emails and personal family videos of millions of innocent Americans. Now comes the next layer of control, and this time it's for your money. The Federal Reserve has already set a date for when banks will begin handing over this control. It could start as soon as May 2023. So fast forward to a future date and picture this. You see a post on Facebook criticizing politicians for out-of-control inflation. You hit the like button. An hour later, you read a post by a blogger you follow asking for donations. You decide to give him $30 using PayPal. When you click the button to send, a strange error message pops up. You figure the charity just didn't set up their page properly, so you move on and you don't think anything of it. But the next morning, when you log into your bank account, you see this. What the heck? You take fast, shallow breaths, and your heart starts thumping quicker as you realize what's going to happen. Your electric bill is due in a few days. Your mortgage payment is set to draft from your account in a week, and you had planned to use your credit or debit card to buy holiday gifts for your grandkids. And now, with your account frozen, you're helpless. As your forehead breaks out in a sweat, you call the number flashing on your bank account screen. Nobody picks up. Instead, you get an automated menu that asks you for your social security number and other sensitive information. You never get to speak to a live person. A robotic voice makes you choose a date for a hearing to get your banking reinstated. The soonest appointment is over a month away. After you hang up, the screen of your frozen bank account still stares at you. How could this have happened? You think back to what you've posted on social media. You remember the charities you've given to, the causes you've supported. You remember that the news has reported more and more men and women are getting canceled by their financial institutions. Why? Did they buy too much gasoline? Did they donate money to the wrong candidate? No one seems to know for sure. But somehow, whenever you thought about protecting your savings from their control, you just shrugged your shoulders and figured you'd get around it. Now that your account's frozen and it's not coming back for weeks, you start to wonder, what's going to happen next? Will the electric company send out a warning notice? Or maybe they'll just shut your power off? And what about your mortgage? How long before you start getting warnings about that? How are you going to explain to your spouse that you need to stop all spending from your checking account? You can't write checks. You can't pay off credit cards. Now, this might sound like a nightmare straight out of a dystopian novel, but as you'll see in just a couple of minutes, millions of innocent American citizens have been spied upon by the government. Quite a few have also had their accounts suspended. In fact, government confiscation of personal assets has happened a lot more frequently than most people realize, right here in America. So government surveillance and manipulation of financial transactions would not be entirely new. It would simply be the next step in a very disturbing pattern. And the Federal Reserve's docket number OP-1670 shows how that would work. The document maps out how a small group of unelected government officials will soon gain access to all your financial transactions. And we know from years of experience that government access to all your data is just one step away from the government's power to control everything that data tells them about who you are and what you do. They'd have the power to watch how you invest your money and restrict the amount you invest in companies that are not compliant with environmental, social, and governance standards. They'd have the power to limit your purchases of fossil fuels, including gas at the pump. They'd have the power to restrict your contributions to certain causes or political parties. They'd have the power to pressure folks of all ages to get government-mandated vaccinations, or worse. If you find this hard to believe, just consider what our government has already done. In 2013, the National Security Agency, the NSA, illegally collected the phone records of millions of American citizens, not just once, but for over 5 years. They spied on millions of people who were never suspected of any wrongdoing whatsoever. And that's not all. The NSA and the FBI colluded with America's biggest tech companies to spy on nearly everything you could do online. It's all revealed in this slide from a top-secret PowerPoint presentation that the NSA and the FBI used to train their agents. Look at the left column. These are the so-called providers, the companies that provided your private data to the government. Microsoft, Google, Yahoo, Facebook, YouTube, Skype, AOL, Apple, and others. And see this list in the right column? These are your private activities that the government agents could search and spy on at any time, whether live or recorded. Your chats, your videos, your photos, your stored data, any file you've ever sent. all the websites you visited, and details about your friends, too. This was under the Obama administration.
With respect to all these programs, the relevant intelligence committees are fully briefed on these programs.
But it could happen under any government, left, right, or in between. All they need is an excuse to declare a national emergency. A terrorist attack, maybe. A surge in the drug trade. Inflation out of control. Even melting glaciers in Greenland. Scary, right? Well, what's even scarier is that starting in May, they're going down that path again, with two big differences. This time, it won't be run by the NSA, it'll be run by the Federal Reserve. And this time, they'll have the power to do it far more efficiently by tracking all your money down to the last penny of your bank accounts and financial transactions. It all starts with the new Fed power to control your money, and time is running out to protect yourself. Fortunately, there are 4 simple steps you can take to legally sidestep the worst of this program. I'll explain exactly what they are in this presentation. My name is Dr. Martin Weiss. My financial education actually began in 1959 when my father founded the Sound Dollar Committee to help President Dwight D. Eisenhower balance the federal budget. Then, in 1971, I founded my own investment research company to issue independent ratings on every bank, every stock, and every mutual fund in America. Unlike Moody's, Standard & Poor's, or Fitch, who are paid by the companies for their ratings, we've never accepted, and we will never accept, a dime from the companies we rate. Since we began publicly releasing our ratings and investment recommendations, our track record has caught the attention of Barron's, Forbes, Fortune magazine, Newsmax, even the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal. They have all praised the accuracy of our ratings, not to mention our uncanny knack for predicting financial disasters, like when I rang the alarm bells months before the great financial crisis of 2008. Consider the big Bear Stearns failure, for example. On December 3rd, 2007, I published an alert warning that Bear Stearns has sunk its balance sheet even deeper into the hole with $20.2 billion in dead assets, or 155% of its equity, and it is threatened with insolvency. Well, Bear Stearns collapsed 33 days later. I also published an article warning that Lehman Brothers is in similar shape because of an even larger $34.7 billion pileup of dead assets, or 160% of its equity. Well, Lehman collapsed 182 days later. And that single collapse is what ignited the greatest financial crisis since the Great Depression. We named Fannie Mae over 1 year in advance, Citibank, Wachovia Bank, and Washington Mutual Bank 51 days in advance. I pounded the table for investors, telling them, do not touch these companies with a 10-foot pole. While all along, officials on Wall Street and in Washington swore on a stack of Bibles that no such failures could ever be possible.
Our banking system is a safe and a sound one.
Well, we know how that played out. Those who listened to me would have kept every penny of their savings and investments far, far away from those banks. They would have avoided catastrophic losses and the personal pain that comes with it, while those who owned the shares in those same big banks saw them plunge 96%, 98%, even 100% from their peak value. Look, the closer you get to retirement, and especially if you're already in retirement, the more crucial it is to protect every penny you've earned. Unfortunately, today, it's not as simple as consulting with a financial advisor or relying on your 401k or IRA. No, because the government itself could soon be targeting your money, not just your investment portfolio, but also your savings and checking accounts. Yes, your ordinary bank accounts, something that's supposed to be reliable, FDIC insured, and safe. Unfortunately, it's no longer safe. Understand that after decades of successful investing, I was actually semi-retired myself. But in the last few years, I've come out of retirement to sound this alarm with a very different and far starker warning than my previous and accurate disaster predictions. This goes beyond any individual company, any sector of the economy, or any market cycle. It goes beyond your investment portfolio. Today, I'm warning you about your right to spend and receive money how you wish, and how this right could be quietly erased by an eerie Federal Reserve program. The name of this program is Fed Now, although I prefer to call it Fed Control, because that's exactly what I think it could turn into. The power to control your ability to spend and receive money. And now, over 121 financial institutions have joined the first phase of Fed Control, including Capital One Financial, Fidelity Securities, First Bank, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan Chase, US Bank, Wells Fargo, and many more. If you have a checking account with any of these banks you see on your screen, stick with me for the solution I'm going to recommend. But these 121 banks are merely part of the first phase. Soon thereafter, this program will roll out to virtually all U.S. banks, all U.S. credit unions, all U.S. savings and loans. Fed Control is launching as soon as May 2023. And if this program is designed as reports indicate, you cannot opt out. You cannot simply switch banks. You don't get to vote against this. Lawmakers are already cooperating with the unelected financial insiders at the Federal Reserve. And meanwhile, Biden is pushing for the IRS to more closely monitor people's accounts so they know exactly how much in taxes to extract from you. Look, you don't have a lot of time. The rollout will begin just months from now, and almost no one outside the Federal Reserve understands what's really possible. I fear this will be much worse than the simple government surveillance we saw under the Obama administration, because now government officials will have the power to choke off your money at will. And if they decide you're not in compliance, whatever their policy agenda dictates at the time, for all intents and purposes, your account could be frozen. It doesn't matter if you're trying to buy a gift online for your grandson. It doesn't matter if you're standing in line at the grocery store trying to buy next week's food for your family. It doesn't matter if you're trying to pay off your Visa or MasterCard bill, or your phone bill, or your mortgage. It doesn't matter if you've done nothing wrong. With the Federal Reserve gaining the power to control nearly all your money transactions, it's not about innocence or guilt as defined by the law. When they control your money, they control your life. Listen, as part of my economic research, I've spent nearly 20 years living in Latin America and Asia, including time spent in Russia and China. And I can tell you, corrupt governments have a specific blueprint for controlling their citizens. I never thought this kind of control mechanism would come to America, but it has. In the next 17 seconds, I'll show you exactly how their plan works. Then I'll tell you about the 4 exact steps you can take to protect yourself and your family savings. I'm sure you've purchased many items and paid for many services by writing a check or swiping your card, or perhaps you've used something like Apple Pay. You've also made deposits in your checking account, or even had paychecks set up for direct deposit automatically. How exactly does the money move from your bank account to someone else's? It's something we hardly think about, and yet over $2 trillion worth of these transactions happen every day. That includes the money transactions you make, the money transactions your family makes or your friends make, and every company you pay or that pays you. It also includes Social Security payments from the government. Yes, over $2 trillion every single day. Most of these transactions are handled by a company called the Clearing House, which is owned by major banks. The Clearing House has been handling interbank transactions for over 169 years. And while the system is far from perfect, it's worked for over a century and a half. However, the Federal Reserve saw the chance to make it more efficient. And in 2019, with little fanfare or press coverage, they released their docket number OP-1670. The docket reveals their plan to take over these transactions. But that's not all. It also reveals their plan to centralize all the transactions handled by private payment systems such as PayPal, Zelle, Venmo, Apple Pay, Google Pay, and many more. In other words, the Federal Reserve will be the central engine in charge of all payment systems with the power to control how you spend and receive money. They'll have their hands on the entire process. You're probably aware that banks already require you to fill out special IRS forms if you attempt to withdraw about $10,000 or more in cash. Well, with Fed control, merely transferring money from one place to another in practically any amount could raise red flags. Now, some people seem to think the government would never do crazy things or would never change their policies drastically. But the truth is, our government already has done crazy things and already has changed their policies drastically. The U.S. Congress has abandoned any sense of fiscal sanity and given us more than $31 trillion in government debt. The U.S. Federal Reserve has abandoned any sense of monetary sanity and printed $8 trillion in paper money. No wonder so many people are terrified the U.S. dollar will become worthless as prices scream from inflation to hyperinflation. Two extreme examples of this are Germany after World War I and Zimbabwe in the 21st century. Whenever a currency starts plummeting in value, the people holding that currency scramble to get rid of it. They rush to stores and buy any tangible item until the shelves are empty. They hoard food. They try to exchange the worthless currency for anything that has value. But if a small group of unelected officials control your ability to spend money, do you really think they'll allow you to dump your US dollars in a hyperinflation? No. They will declare a national emergency. They will slam shut nearly every avenue of escape, and you'll be stuck watching helplessly as your savings rot away to nothing. As someone who has studied the U.S. economy for over 50 years and who has accurately predicted the worst of the government's crusades on American savers, including the 2008 financial crisis, I can assure you the chances are increasing that the Federal Reserve will use this power to control your spending. Think this won't happen in the United States? Well, it's already happened in North America. 206 bank accounts were frozen in early 2022. The bank accounts of thousands of protesters were frozen, and they were locked out of their money. Where? It all happened in Canada, when the government ordered the mass freeze to break the backs of protesting Canadian truckers who are trying to do their job and provide for their families. Canada used the 1988 Emergencies Act, for the first time ever, mind you, to freeze the finances of these men and women. Even people who merely donated to their cause reported their accounts were frozen too. This wasn't just Canada either. United States citizens who donated to the cause were subject to the same order. The Assistant Deputy Minister of Finance warned that these punishments could continue. Newsweek reported that the Emergencies Act has also allowed the Canadian government to expand the country's money laundering and terrorist financing laws. Possible scenes of the not-too-distant future? Absolutely. Here's one more quote from the Deputy Prime Minister that should send chills down your spine. "We now have the tools to follow the money. We can see what is happening and what is being planned in real time, and we are absolutely determined." So they can follow your money. They can see what you're planning. They are determined. And Fed control will be like handing them a ballistic missile pointed straight at you. As they record your spending and track your donations, imagine being issued a warning for donating to the wrong cause or candidate. Think your spending with your name attached won't get leaked? Well, we have abundant proof that nearly every major agency of the U.S. government has already suffered major leaks and hacks. The U.S. Department of Defense, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, the U.S. Department of Justice, and many more. Even the CIA, the FBI, and the White House have suffered leaks and hacks. Buried in their docket number OP-1670 is evidence of what could be possible. And don't think your bank is going to stop this invasion of privacy. Chances are your bank is begging to join the program. Already, 100-plus banks have enlisted to help with the rollout. So if you're an American citizen with a checking account, you simply cannot sit back and wait anymore. You must act now. That's why I'm going to show you right here on this screen the only solution I trust to protect your ability to spend and receive money. It allows you to escape from under the boot heel of the Federal Reserve. I call it the Make Your Money Safe Again solution. It's simple and easy to use. And when you put it into action, you legally and ethically protect and grow your savings while dodging the Federal Reserve's power to control. Even better, with the way the global economy is deteriorating, our Make Your Money Safe Again solution is also your best bet to increase your wealth. You need to know how the solution works, which is why I'm going to show it to you now. As I said, there are just 4 steps you need to take. And fortunately, they're easy for any American citizen. Once you've checked them off your list, you can relax. What does that look like? Well, I want you to imagine another scenario. Imagine that you get a phone call from a friend out of the blue. Remember when you warned me about my bank account, he asks? Well, I should have listened to you, because right now I'm staring at my screen and it says my transactions have been canceled, just like you warned. What should I do now? Thankfully, that's your friend talking, not you. And as bad as you feel for your friends, you also feel a quiet relief because you did take the needed steps to protect yourself and your family before it was too late. Much better than the alternative, right? Much better than having your payments denied, your income denied, or getting a message that a special tax will be levied against your Social Security effective immediately due to non-compliance with new rules. If you think this is overblown or fear-mongering, ask the truckers who are protesting and trying to put food on the table. I've experienced this myself in Brazil. When I was in Brazil, the government seized the savings accounts of countless citizens. Then they replaced the money in people's accounts with a new currency that was worth a lot less. Years earlier, it was even worse. When inflation hit triple digits, they blamed it on their political opponents. They engineered a coup d'etat, and they destroyed all traces of democracy or freedom. I never thought anything like this could come to America. But now I've changed my mind. Now it's close, too close for comfort. I bet the citizens of Brazil would have given anything, just for a warning ahead of time. Today, we're lucky because we've gotten that warning from 93 pages of Federal Reserve docket number OP-1670, and they're about to flip the switch. It doesn't matter which party is in control at the White House or Congress. You cannot stop Fed control, but you can protect yourself. And the solution is make your money safe again. Let's dive into how it works. First, though, let me tell you what make your money safe again is not. It's not about simply opening an account in another bank. I predict nearly all U.S. banks will fall in line with Fed control. It's not about switching to alternative payment platforms like PayPal. In fact, PayPal has already been caught slapping $2,500 fines on anyone who promotes misinformation with their system. And reporters have already been banned from PayPal simply for refusing to comply with Washington's narrative about foreign affairs. Make your money safe again works in a completely different way. It gives control back to you. It helps you through the coming financial storm, which is going to get much worse. And it gives you the opportunity to become wealthier in the process. But you must know exactly how to outsmart Fed control. And that's why today I'm going to share my full Make Your Money Safe Again solution with you. As an American citizen, I feel it's my duty to get this vital information into as many people's hands as I can. I've written up the entire solution in a new step-by-step report called Take Back Control of Your Savings and Grow Wealthier. I'll show you how to get your copy in just a moment. And inside, I'll show you exactly how to beat Fed control. I will give you a unique way to store your savings that's completely outside the control of any bank, that's off the grid, but not offshore. In fact, you'll be able to hold your savings securely in the palm of your hand. This is very different from online banking or using an app like PayPal or Venmo. Instead, this is the closest you can come to being your own bank. And the bottom line is you'll have control over your savings, which is going to be crucial for your freedom from Fed control. If you want safety for yourself and for your family, I think my Make Your Money Safe Again solution is ideal for you. Now, it's important to know that even though you're going to discover several financial loopholes for securing your savings, everything is 100% legal. As much as the government might hope you don't take advantage of them, there's nothing they can do to stop you. You can rest easy in the knowledge that you're protecting your savings and your freedom to spend them as you see fit. You'll be one of the few in-the-know people in your neighborhood, or perhaps the only one. Of course, you should share your secrets with your family and the friends you trust. You get to be the hero who helps them escape Fed control. And it all starts today if you say, yes, Martin, to this opportunity. You'll be able to immediately download your bonus report, take back control of your savings, and grow wealthier. That's right. A copy is reserved and waiting for you to claim it, and I'll show you how to grab it in just a moment. First, let's talk about an asset I've been pounding the table about for almost 4 decades, gold. Because as you learn about these disturbing events speeding our way, you've probably thought of gold as a safe haven. If so, that's Weiss. Throughout history, when paper money's value has evaporated, even to the point that a wheelbarrow of cash couldn't buy a loaf of bread, gold has maintained its value with a 5,000-year track record. So if the Federal Reserve gets its hooks into your bank account, wouldn't you want to have a stash of gold kept somewhere safe, where it isn't canceled, frozen, or confiscated? I sure would. And in fact, I've already got my savings in gold. That's why I want to send you another bonus report called The Ultimate Gold War Chest. When you go through this report, you'll feel confident in your ability to get the best deals in gold. You'll know how to buy gold the right way and avoid the many scams out there. You'll also know how to store your gold the right way, because the wrong way could make you wind up as a victim. And also, you could profit enormously from gold. Isn't gold supposed to be just a safe haven? Well, it usually is, but when you time your purchases correctly, you have the opportunity to build plenty of wealth. For example, since my firm began recommending gold, it's gone up 450% in value, turning a $10,000 investment into $55,000. Plus, we're going to show you a simple way to invest in gold that's not actually buying the metal. This gold trick could rocket your wealth up as global fears, supply chain disruptions, and government surveillance get worse. One of the best parts of this trick is it's often cheaper than buying gold, yet you can make more money. You will discover the smartest way to get your hands on gold, the other precious metal that almost always rises faster than gold, common and not so common gold scams to avoid, how to get the equivalent of free gold by buying in a certain way, how to avoid losing your gold, something that can happen more often than you may think due to a sneaky trick used by thieves. Plus, there's one more very important item in this report. You see, back in 1933, the U.S. government ordered private citizens to hand over their gold. Just in case something like this happens again, we put together a special chapter of this report called The Gold Confiscation Loophole, because it turns out one specific kind of gold was exempt from this government grab. You could have thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of this kind of gold, and the government wouldn't be able to touch any part of it. If the president declares a national emergency and orders the confiscation of gold, then this is the only gold you'd want to own. In a moment, I'll show you how to download it instantly, but I've actually got more for you. Look, we've analyzed a lot of scary facts in our time together, so I want to emphasize this is no time to give up hope. Even in the darkest of times, there's always a way to secure and grow your money. Even during Germany's horrific hyperinflation, it was possible for citizens to escape and preserve their wealth if they prepared the right way. I know you might not feel this way when you look at stocks or you look at bonds in the year 2022. After their worst performance in decades, and after a much tougher real estate market, it seemed like there's nowhere to turn. But this isn't my first rodeo facing bad markets, far from it. Those who listen to me have had the opportunity to profit while most investments burned. During the tech crash in the early 2000s, those who followed our ratings could have kept their money safe and then made a lot of money by picking up big bargains in 2004. And during the 2008 crash, those who followed our ratings could have again kept their money safe and again made a lot of money by picking up big bargains after the storm. Imagine seeing financial carnage on the evening news while glancing at your investment portfolio and watching your portfolio grow. Let me tell you, it's a wonderful and comfortable feeling, secure in the knowledge that you're properly providing for your family. If you're skeptical, I understand. After all, the typical portfolios based on traditional portfolio allocation got slaughtered in 2022. Just look at this chart. It shows how average investors saw the worst returns in a century, which is why I make sure our recommendations are anything but typical. And very recently, we've identified 12 companies that we predict are going to benefit from all the consequences of the Fed manipulations and the Fed control. Now, why would you care about this? Simple. It's one thing to escape what the Fed's doing, but it's another thing entirely to take advantage of the Fed's present and future actions, to turn them into opportunities, to make money as they try to take away your freedom. You see, the U.S. Government Accountability Office investigated our ratings of life and health insurance companies, and they concluded that we greatly outperformed all other rating agencies, including Standard & Poor's, Moody's, and AM Best. I think this was one of the rare times when the government actually did something right. And never forget, the Wall Street Journal reported that investors who'd used our ratings could have made more money than if they had followed the ratings issued by Deutsche Bank, Merrill Lynch, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Standard & Poor's, and every single other firm they reviewed. I don't say this to brag. Instead, it's to show you that the accuracy of our forecasts is no accident. It's based on a tremendous amount of data, research, and hard work. Plus, it can potentially be very profitable for investors. When you take advantage of my team's research, you get a big advantage in building your retirement wealth. And at this very moment, we predict certain companies are going to enjoy windfall profits from the coming chaos. We predict that the shares of these companies could double or even triple in the next 3 years. If we're right about even just a few of these companies, and we're confident in all of them, then I think you have a pretty good chance to grow your wealth rapidly as the rest of the world panics. All the details are revealed in a new report we've prepared, 12 inflation-beating stocks for the next 12 months. I'm sure you can see that inflation isn't going away anytime soon. Despite any temporary improvements here and there, it's probably going to get much worse. Plus, with all the turmoil, most average stocks could, at best, be going absolutely nowhere for the next few years. Here's the good news. In past market conditions that were very similar to what we're facing today, a certain way to invest captured 90% of the returns that investors made. Even better news, you can still use this simple investment strategy today. And we show you exactly what this strategy is, including 12 stocks you can buy today that fit the strategy hand in glove. This report gives you the exact names and tickers. It tells you when and how to add them to your portfolio. And if history is any indication, they could be an ideal way to profit from the fallout of the Fed's follies. Plus, there's one more gift I've set aside for you, and I predict this one could be a game changer for your portfolio. You see, my firm has been quietly studying an investment asset that has vastly outperformed stocks, bonds, and real estate. This asset has turned average people into millionaires and even multimillionaires. And we believe the events of 2022 have opened up an ideal new window into this opportunity starting in 2023. I'm urging investors who listen to stake their claim in this asset because we predict it's about to rocket higher again. We tell you exactly how to get in with our special bonus report, the weird way to make extraordinary profits in a financial crisis. Yes, the profit potential is extraordinary. And no, this has nothing to do with shorting stocks or buying options, nor am I talking about Bitcoin. But I do ask one thing. It's okay to warn your friends and neighbors about how bad things are going to get. And of course, it's good to share with them what you've learned about Fed control and about gold. But this report, you might want to keep it to yourself and your loved ones. Now, when you get all 4 bonus reports, take back control of your savings and grow wealthier. The ultimate gold war chest, 12 inflation-beating stocks for the next 12 months, the weird way to make extraordinary profits in a financial crisis. You will have 4 simple steps to protect your savings, our complete solution to make your money safe again. You will have everything we think you need to secure your savings from the jaws of the Fed control. Build the ideal gold portfolio that could carry you through this financial crisis. Claim your share of the companies we predict will soar due to the Fed's actions and plans. Position yourself for life-altering wealth with an unusual investment strategy that has often been a millionaire maker. Be a guardian for your family savings and enjoy the power and freedom that others, those who don't step up, may never have. With this power and freedom, you're stepping into an inner circle. Men and women like you who see the battles that are coming and who understand the importance of preserving our freedom and increasing our wealth. I see Fed control as emblematic of what could be a very disturbing period in America, when the government tries to decide and control how private people should behave. So the time to stand up to this madness is now. You've just learned some truly scary facts that are not widely known about how the financial system is shifting against the average person. The media has kept silent about it. Politicians are keeping quiet, all while everyday Americans could be at risk of seeing some of their most precious freedoms ripped apart and their money imprisoned. You don't have to be one of them. You can be one of the few who finds protection for yourself and for your loved ones before the storm, and the potential to even grow wealthier when chaos erupts. The vital information you've learned today is the kind of intelligence my team and I have been gathering for years. And we've been sharing that intelligence in a private membership called Safe Money. In our Safe Money report, we warn our members about threats to their savings and retirement that we believe are right around the corner. We give them our Safe Money model portfolio, including the stocks that are at the very pinnacle of our ratings. And we provide advanced warnings that can make or break anyone's financial future. You've already heard some of the highlights, like how we've helped our members avoid hundreds of bank failures, how we helped them sidestep the tech meltdown, saving those who listened from a drop in their portfolios of as much as 75%, and how well before the collapse of Bear Stearns, Lehman Brothers, Washington Mutual, Citigroup, and Wachovia, we warned our readers. At the time, we were bold contrarians. We dared predict what others said was impossible, unthinkable, and even crazy. But history has proven us right. And that's just the beginning. With Fed control upon us, American citizens could now become part of an experiment in which our savings could be used against us for their agenda, where your ability to send and receive money could be taken away if you stand up against how they want to shape the country and the world. No one can predict the future with precision, but our painstaking analysis tells us that this storm is going to get much worse before it gets better. And with Safe Money, we're prepared to help you navigate every step of the way. In prior financial crises, the New York Times wrote that Weiss was first to see the dangers and say so unambiguously. Esquire wrote that Weiss is the only one providing grades with no conflicts of interest. The founder of Newsmax said, Martin Weiss's prediction of the current economic crisis is uncanny. Now is your chance to get this kind of foresight and insight, working to protect and grow your retirement. Will you be there with us? For over 40 years, Safe Money has published lists of the most vulnerable public companies, ETFs, and mutual funds before a crisis sent them plummeting. Plus, we've also published lists of companies that are the most likely to thrive in the coming crisis. We've built a track record that has gotten the attention of Barron's, Forbes, Fortune magazine, the New York Times, and the Wall Street Journal. They've all recognized our ability to identify the losers and the winners, to predict market events. Barron's wrote that Weiss is the leader in identifying vulnerable companies. This is because we've built a massive database on more than 53,000 companies and investments. This database actually started many, many years ago with my father, Irving Weiss. He was a stockbroker in the 1920s and was one of the very, very few people who warned a crash was coming. Even as other stockbrokers laughed at him, my father advised his clients, family, and friends to get the heck out of the market. Then, on October 28, 1929, came Black Monday. The market plunged and ruined so many lives, but my father got to work. He built a spreadsheet of as many companies as he could and created formulas to identify each company's risk of failing. Then, using his formulas, he took a $500 investment and turned it into $100,000, the equivalent of $2 million in today's dollars, in just 2 years. Today, our team of analysts, mathematicians, and data scientists use his original formulas, combined with new formulas and advanced computer models, to cut through the financial fog and detect early warning signals. This is how we were able to accurately predict the bank failures of the 1980s, the dot-com collapse of the early 2000s, and the great financial crisis of 2008. For example, during and after the great financial crisis, 465 banks failed, catching millions of Americans off guard. But using our data and our ratings, we were able to warn in advance about 464 of those failures. Yes, before the banks failed. We missed only one, a stunning 99.8% rate of accuracy. As you might imagine, all the publicly traded banks that went bankrupt saw their stocks plunge in value, many to zero. Ditto for the stocks of other failed companies. But our safe money covers more than just stocks. We also dive deep into protecting and growing your 401k and IRA and every kind of investment it contains, not to mention your real estate. Today, I'm inviting you to join us. If you choose to join the elite group of Safe Money members, if you step up to be one of us, you'll get the same kind of accurate information others have gotten over 4 decades, avoiding the worst financial downturns, protecting their families while others panic helplessly. Our aim is to help you grow your wealth, even while others lose theirs. Every month, we'll send you our best intelligence to help you navigate the coming chaos. You see, Safe Money goes way beyond helping you escape Fed control. You will also discover our recommendations for many other investments and the right companies to invest in. Plus, our Safe Money report dives deep into protecting your wealth just as much as growing it. You'll discover precious metal strategies designed to keep your wealth safe no matter what happens. You'll discover which sectors of the market to avoid, like the plague, as the crisis gets worse, and which sectors to zero in on so you can look back upon this day as the time when your nest egg began to grow, and grow. From my 50 years of investing, I can assure you there is always a way to win, to get wealthy, no matter what the markets may be doing. And our mission is to always find that way. When you're a member of Safe Money, we want to make sure you know exactly which stocks to buy, and equally important, which stocks to sell. Our goal is for you to watch your wealth grow even while others, who didn't heed our warnings, begin to panic. That you will enjoy the power and freedom that only a small few get to experience. Plus, a membership in Safe Money will give you more than just reports. You'll be part of a community of like-minded investors with direct access to some of the most powerful investing tools in the world. With your Safe Money membership, you get premium access to all 53,000 of our Weiss ratings, which we sold separately for $228 per year. And that includes premium access to our Weiss ratings to check the safety of your bank or credit union. These are the ratings that warned in advance about the bank failures of the great financial crisis with 99.8% accuracy. And your premium access also includes our Weiss ratings to check the safety of your insurance company. The ratings that a study by the U.S. Government Accountability Office showed were far more accurate than those of all other rating agencies. Just these safety ratings alone make it a wise decision to become a Safe Money member, but you get much, much more. You also get total access to the Weiss investment ratings, giving you buy and sell signals for every stock, ETF, or mutual fund you own or may wish to own. And our investment ratings also have a long history of success. We launched the beta version of our stock ratings a few months before the dot-com bust of the early 2000s. At the time, every major firm on Wall Street was touting NASDAQ stocks, urging investors to buy, buy, buy. In fact, according to Zacks Investment Research, nearly all of the ratings issued by Wall Street were buys at the time. But our ratings said exactly the opposite. We gave nearly all NASDAQ stocks a sell rating, and not a single one got a buy. Sure enough, less than 3 years later, the NASDAQ Composite Index was down 75%. And many of Wall Street's most favorite darlings lost 100% of their value. So by 2004, after getting burned so badly, most Wall Street firms threw in the towel. That's when they finally downgraded most tech stocks to a sell, after it was too late, way too late for investors. And again, we did exactly the opposite. That's when we launched our full-fledged Weiss stock ratings to identify some of the best buying opportunities. And that's when we started upgrading the most promising stocks to a buy. We upgraded Tyler Technologies to a buy on January 2nd, 2004, and have never since downgraded it to a sell. Since then, it has produced a total return of 3,984%. We upgraded NetEase to a buy on the same day and have never downgraded it to a sell. It has since delivered investors returns of 4,446%. We upgraded Teledyne Technologies to a buy on June 28, 2004, and have never downgraded it to a sell ever since. It has gained 1,937%. We upgraded Apple to a buy on September 27, 2004, and like all the others I've cited, we never again downgraded it to a sell. Since then, it has delivered investors returns of 24,115%, multiplying an initial investment by 242 times. And Apple was not the biggest winner on our list of upgrades. Among all the stocks in this same category, meriting a buy in 2004 and ever since downgraded to a sell, there are 428 winning stocks with an average gain of 827%. And there are 17 losing stocks with an average loss of 25%. In other words, we've had 25 times more winners than losers. And the average gain on each winner is 33 times bigger than the average loss of each loser. Overall, that comes to an average gain of 794%, or nearly 9 times growth. Clearly, our stock ratings are a powerful tool, and with your membership in Safe Money, you get 24/7 access to all 53,000 of our ratings. You get the ability to easily create your own custom watch lists. So whenever your bank, your stocks, your ETFs, or your mutual funds are downgraded or upgraded, you get an instant alert via email or via text. And never forget, you get our Safe Money model portfolio with our picks of the best based on the Weiss ratings. Plus, here's one more great benefit. You also get our Weiss ratings daily alerts, providing critical updates on all of the above in your inbox every morning, 7 days a week. Or if you prefer, you can get our daily alerts via SMS to your mobile device or via Telegram. Now it's time for the next step, to join our private Safe Money membership. All I ask in return is a fair fee that covers the expenses of my team's research and getting the information to you. That's normally been $129 per year, which I think is an absolute bargain especially when you recognize that it delivers financial guidance that could make such a big difference in your life. That said, I won't ask you for even the $129 today. As we both know, the crisis is already upon us and time is running out. So I want to get my guidance into the hands of the right people who can bolster their own financial health, and by so doing, also help this great country get back on track. To improve the chances of that happening, I'm slashing $80 off the fee. Right here on this page, you can claim your 1-year Safe Money membership for just $49. That's less than 14 cents per day. And you'll receive our carefully researched recommendations for stocks, precious metals, and other wealth-building investments. Now, about our 4 urgent reports. All 4 reports will be yours just for testing out your Safe Money membership. And if you decide to leave, you'll get back every penny you've paid. That's right. We'll give you a 100% refund. You can still keep every bonus report and every monthly issue you've received. My way of saying thank you for giving Safe Money a try. With all that said, anytime you wish, just click the button below the screen and you'll have the opportunity to join our private group of Safe Money members. As soon as you do, you'll be able to download your 4 bonus reports instantly. And whatever time it may be right now, or whatever day of the week it is, you can be diving into them a few minutes from now. Then you'll immediately get full premium access to our safety ratings on virtually every bank, every credit union, and every insurance company in America, plus our investment ratings on every listed stock, ETF, and mutual fund. 53,000 ratings in all, and I might say, the only truly independent ratings in the world. You'll be receiving our Weiss ratings daily in your inbox or via alerts to your mobile device, or both if you choose. And you'll begin getting your monthly Safe Money reports as we publish them. All up to date and very timely, so be sure to tear into them ASAP. I want to do everything in my power to make sure that joining the Safe Money Inner Circle is one of the best moves you ever make for your financial independence. I want to make sure you're protected from Fed control, that your wealth grows from the opportunities you'll learn about, and that you feel free, wealthy, and in control of your future. So I'm giving you 12 full months to test drive everything you get, to take full advantage of every rating, every list, every tip, every profit strategy you'll discover. I think you'll find this is more than enough time to see the value in what you receive. There's a reason why Worth Magazine wrote that our record is so good compared with that of our competitors, consumers need look no further. But if you're anything less than thrilled, go ahead and cancel, and we'll give you a 100% refund. In other words, there's literally no risk to you. Right now, there's a button under this screen that says, Apply Now. Click that button to get started, or stick with me here. In a moment, I'll take you to our webpage with all the information you need. Here's the rundown of all your benefits. You get our complete Make Your Money Safe Again solution. That solution includes immediate access to your 4 bonus reports. Number 1, take back control of your savings and grow wealthier, sold separately for $79. Number 2, the Ultimate Gold War Chest, sold separately for $79. Number 3, 12 inflation-beating stocks for the next 12 months, sold separately for $79. Plus, the weird way to make extraordinary profits in a financial crisis, also sold separately for $79. You get a full year of our monthly Safe Money report, normally sold for $129. Our model portfolio based on our prize-winning ratings, which stocks to jump into and which ones to avoid like the plague, and you get 24/7 premium access to all 53,000 of our Weiss ratings on nearly every bank, credit union, insurance company, stock, ETF, and mutual fund in America, sold separately for $228 per year. And you get our Weiss Ratings Daily News Alerts in your inbox every morning. That's a total value of $673, all for just $49. Between the discounts and the bonuses, you save a whopping $624. What's more, you get an entire year to enjoy all of these benefits with no obligation. I think you're going to be thrilled you made the decision to join. In fact, you don't even have to make your final decision today. You can take full advantage of everything we have to offer for the next 365 days and then decide. Even if you cancel on the very last day of your membership, you can still get back every penny you've paid, and all 4 bonus reports, plus everything else you've received, will be yours to keep just for giving Safe Money a try. Look, unlike many of the players on Wall Street and in Washington, I'm not into funny business, just a fair deal. I'm 100% comfortable shouldering the risk because I know the value you're about to receive. When you join today, the download links to all 4 of your reports will be sent to your inbox within just a few minutes. Right now, you're in the same position as many men and women throughout history who faced a dangerous force from government. So you have 3 options. First, you can do nothing. To be frank, this is the option chosen by most people. But if you take this option today, don't be surprised when the Fed control is quietly installed in your bank account and your financial records get recorded. Don't be surprised if you get flagged for donating to the wrong cause or even expressing public opinion support for the wrong person. And don't be surprised if your ability to spend and receive money gets choked off. After all, you were warned. Then there's a second option. You could take what you've learned today and do your best to protect yourself on your own. While this is certainly better than the first option, it could leave you vulnerable to crucial mistakes. The third option is to take full advantage of our hard work, 50 plus years of investment experience to make your money safe again. It's also the safest option because of our 100% money back guarantee. You can use every single one of my research reports and make a few simple moves with your savings. You can use our stock ratings to help you avoid the garbage, always selecting strictly those at the very top of our list. You can follow the model portfolio we give you every month in Safe Money Report. And if you're not completely satisfied for any reason, simply give us a call or send us an email and you'll get every penny back. If you hesitate, if you shrug your shoulders, if you close this page and bury your head in the sand about what's coming, I think you could bitterly regret it later. If your money gets frozen and your spouse calls you to wonder why your Visa or MasterCard isn't working, you might look back on today as the day when you needed to take action, but you hesitated, you blinked. My friend, it doesn't have to be that way. You still have your opportunity. And as someone who's been in this game for 50 plus years, I can assure you that now is the ideal time to grab it. Click the button below to get instant access to all the bonus reports I've told you about today. You'll be able to download them momentarily, no matter what day or time it may be. Then, after you make a few simple moves based on what you discover in the reports, you get to sit back, smile, and relax in the knowledge that you've protected yourself and your family. Press the button below to claim your 4 bonus reports and make your money safe again. Good luck and God bless.